What's up? What's
Off the
up?
Wall Nights Live Kickback with your girl Miss Bree and artistic virtuoso.
Yes,
I guess you are still mic'd, aren't you?
yes, I am.
Yes, yes.
Indeed, I am.
So you know what? I want to like actually okay, so since we're talking about since we are creatives and we were talking about like things that we do and things that you do.
Yes,
First of all, I never heard you say real music is life,
I didn't.
which is his company, one
It
of his
is.
companies,
It is. That's my baby.
at his label.
Um,
Come on,
yes.
use the key.
So, yes, Real Music is Life is the name of my company. Uh, it's awesome sauce. I really enjoy like working with creatives. Side note, those that actually have a ish together.
And some kind of drive.
Right, like maybe not necessarily all the things. You don't necessarily have to be like, perfect in all the things. But what I mean is like this part of it,
Children.
the mental game, right?
Right.
Um, and I get it, we're human, we have our struggles, etc.,
See,
so
what I
forth.
hate is because I feel like my time is really precious. Um, and I get really attached to people and their drive and their goals and their
Yes,
ambitions.
yes,
Um, I just don't like people that waste my time.
yeah,
So it's like, yeah,
yeah.
there's like 24 hours in a day, like, however many in a week, the times that by seven.
Oh,
I will make time for anybody, but like, don't waste my time,
agreed.
like, because I have children, I have a life, I have businesses, I have things that I could be doing, I could be making money, I need to pay my bills as well. But
Hmm.
like, if you're passionate about something, like, I'm there for you.
Right,
Um, I just don't want you to like be like, okay, cool, thanks, and then like like just waste it.
right. I agree, and man, so many instances of that. But like,
Ooh, tell me
it's
one.
really well.
Be anonymous, but I want to hear some stories.
So, like I said in the show, I started like seriously going into production, like music production, about it was more like 6 or 7 years ago, right? Because we're in
Mm-hmm.
22 at this point, and so it wasn't until um,
Oh,
yikes, why?
hey, that's not my device.
Um, but yeah, early on so I started actually making beats on an Android tablet, right? And um, I would go and be around different artists, like they said they rap or whatever, like um, I need some beats or whatever the case may be. So I pull up, right, and play some music for them, whatever the case may be, and yikes, like the amount of time wasted in a music studio
Yeah,
is insane. Like, it is absolutely bonkers.
I know a lot of studios run a tight ship because of that.
Correct. As a matter of fact, like I've not owned a studio outside of my own, but like when we shout out to Talka Texas, that's my crew.
TOT, hold it down.
Hold it on. Man, when I tell you, you can ask any of them. When we first started doing studio sessions, shout out to Pat, Platinum Pat. He was doing those sessions for us, and like, I told my guys, listen, we paying for this, right? This is coming out of our pockets. So even if it was free, like we got to treat this like matter of fact, the exact words that I used were, you cannot come to the game trying to practice.
Right,
So don't be in here trying to write your little hook or write your little bars or what have you. Like you
right,
need to have them already together and rehearsed by the time you get into the studio.
right.
You
But
know?
like, is that common knowledge?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, a lot of people think because they hear a story like Lil Wayne or Jay Z or Biggie
Right.
who go into the studio and don't write anything,
Mm-hmm.
right? They have a method of, spitting a couple bars and then, taking a break, going do something, thinking about it, listen to it back, and then spitting a few more or what have you. And you got to keep in mind, like, these guys have been doing that for years,
Right.
right? And not only that, 9 times out of 10, they're not paying for the time that they're spending in that studio, right?
Right.
Like, this is either it's
Like it's
comped or
their
it's theirs, or
studio.
you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
it's like it's a very different situation. So not only have they developed the craft and the skill to be able to do that, but at the same time, they have the resources to be able to do that.
But also, I would also like to say that there's other people out here, other studios out here that don't run a tight ship like that.
Sure.
Like I hear about people that are like, "Oh yeah, I was in the studio like for like 12, 13, 14 hours." And it's
Yep.
like, "Okay, what did you do?" It's like, "Oh, whatever." Like
Yep.
so there's always that like pull and tug
Yes.
like, "Okay, so this is how this is ran because like this is."
Yeah, and that's the challenge of it. One of the reasons why I was so adamant about helping, new artists because, you know, nobody's trained,
Right.
in
I
the etiquette.
love I love that. Like I love a fresh newbie. Like even
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
like still in the beginner stage. Like I'm correlating it to like theater.
Sure.
Like when I get in a student who's never done theater before, like those are the best people because
Yeah.
like you
It's a
can kind
clean
of
slate. Yep.
they just kind of have ideas of what it is. They don't really know. So
Exactly.
you can kind of like mold them and shape
Yes.
them and like tell them how it should
Yes.
be and show them how it should be. I love
Absolutely.
it because there's not a lot of undoing that has to be done.
Right,
Yeah.
right. You know, you hit the nail on the head. Like there's studio owners and engineers that spend hours and hours in the studio. As a matter of fact, one of my colleagues, her husband owns a studio back home in BCS, and you know, she like just last night, it was a situation where he calls and is like, "Babe, bring the gun." Like this guy books a session, right? Apparently he does regularly, right? Books them regularly, pays or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
But gets to like blocks of time, right? Like 5 or 6 hours or something like that. But he brings a whole crew of people with him, right?
Wow.
And
Yeah.
so like that energy is all like that, and then they'll waste a lot of his time to where at the
Right.
end of the session he's trying to hurry up and do some stuff, and they
Yeah.
have it set up structured to where you may remember briefly when we talked about uh, how studios structure their recording time and their mixing and mastering and things of that nature.
Pause.
Yes.
It's the kickback. Take this blazer off or this whatever. What do you call it?
No, I'm
A jacket.
comfortable. I'll loosen up my tie, maybe.
Yeah, do that.
Oh my
Unbutton a
gosh.
button or something.
Oh
Like it's the
my
kickback.
gosh. I ain't even got a drink
How you kicking back like that?
because I'm still
I need a
working.
margarita. Somebody bring me a margarita.
I'm still working. But yeah, like so. Um, Now that I've lost my entire train of thought. So essentially, what'll happen is they charge like that rate that they charge
Uh huh.
is both for the recording time and the mixing,
Oh,
right?
okay. Yeah, yeah.
And so like you get to the end of that recording, the session's practically over as far as the clock is concerned,
Right.
but you haven't got anything mixed, so they having
So you got to come back for mixing.
right, or do a little rush job, and it's just like, yeah, it's already midnight, or
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? They got babies, and a wife, or whatever the case may be. It's like
Yeah.
there's a lot of lack of courtesy in the industry, a lack of professionalism in these particular spaces, um, uh, a lack of just really an overall lack of knowledge. You know what I mean?
Right.
And in one hand, it's because certain ones that run and own these spaces don't necessarily know how to do so. But more than that, in more cases than not, it's the client base that just don't know. So they're, operating at a certain capacity
But in
and it's
that
allowed.
situation, it's like it's up to the studio
Agreed.
to educate and enforce.
Correct.
You know.
Correct. Because
But
I'm,
then, like, okay,
no,
so
no.
yes, pause,
Yes.
comma. But at the end of the day, if you coming in and you're paying for 6 hours and you don't get what you need done, they still get paid. So really, you're wasting your time as well.
Bingo.
You know,
That's the main thing right there.
but like I know on the other end of it, like, being the head or the boss or the, whatever, you also want your client, you want what's best for your client.
Correct.
You
You
want
want your
them to
client to
get
be happy.
quality.
Yeah.
You want that, and you get invested in it too. Like
Yeah.
you're like, oh man, I want this song to come out. Like I
Yeah.
want this to be done, or
Yeah.
I want this to be finished. Because who wants to like keep working on a song for like weeks and
Forever.
weeks?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what is it? There's a child under the table.
Yes.
But yeah. So I was gonna say, like I love hearing about studio things because I was kind of thrust into the studio. It's really crazy because I grew up singing. I sang like in all kinds of aspects, like church, also in theater, also like just singing, at different places and things like that. So with Brass Valley Troop, we sang all kinds of songs from country to pop to oldies to
Yep.
R&B to everything,
Yep.
everything. Patriotic, like I know like all kinds of weird songs. I don't want to say weird, but that you wouldn't think that I would know. But I never like went to the recording studio or anything. Like I never recorded music. Growing up, I always wanted to be a singer, and I wanted to, I actually wanted to be in a girl band. But
That's
I
dope.
never got that far,
Yeah.
and then I went into medicine. So like I love hearing the like studio etiquette and things like that because I think the first time I went to the studio was with Jay Ladon when he was recording. And I was like, I just feel really awkward here. Like I feel like I don't know what to do with my hands, like just really weird. So it's cool hearing what is supposed to be normal, what's not normal, because I've only really witnessed one studio, I guess. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and it wasn't that long ago that I was in the exact same boat.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for my college experience because that gave me my first exposure to like both ends of the spectrum from
Right.
a home based but professional studio, right? But
Right.
home definitely. This is like literally the whole lab was in his living room, right?
I really want that to be a studio.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
agreed.
if we're gonna be here and stay here, like that needs to be.
I agree. I completely agree. Then I interned at a professional studio, and it was amazing. Like I was like, "Yo, this is wild!" Like I've never even been in a place like this before,
Yeah.
And granted, it was in Huntsville, Texas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it wasn't like the biggest, most fanciest thing, but like it was professional. Like
Yeah.
it was actually, I think you would love it. It was actually a house, like one of those historic old houses,
That's cool.
that the whole thing, like I think they lived upstairs,
I
but the
love
entire
that.
first floor was a studio.
I love that.
Yeah, it was really, really cool.
I would like something like that,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah,
That'd be really
agreed,
cool.
agreed. But yeah, like it's not all fun and games, but it's such a fun experience, especially when you can get around like-minded individuals that
Right.
understand the craft and understand the importance of the work behind it. You know what I
I
mean?
want to so bad to like finish the songs that I'm working on so that I can go record.
Yeah.
Like I think that would be really cool. Like I'm excited for that.
Yes. I
Like
see
definitely
that.
in the moment I will be hella nervous
Yes.
and hella like I don't know, but yeah, I want to like get there. Like
Yep. Agreed. Yeah, it's a great experience. And you'll actually notice where different elements of your training will come to play,
yeah.
right? Um, like for example, preparation. Like performing in the studio is a challenge because the producer slash engineer, if they're good, they're going to like their job is to get your best take,
Right.
right?
I kind of want Sway.
Yeah, yeah, no kind about it. I want Sway.
I want Sway.
Sway is fantastic.
Sway, where are you?
Yeah, Sway is fan freaking tastic. I was just thinking about him the other day. Miss you, bro.
Right. We should go find him.
Yep. I absolutely love the vibes that we created together. That was some of the best time that I've had in a studio setting, hands down. But yeah, it's great because, like I said,
Are we live on your YouTube?
no,
Oh, so you're just chatting as Alex Galaxy?
correct. This is my YouTube.
Oh.
You're not logged into. Yes.
I was saying hi.
Why is it showing the top chat?
To
Show
Eric.
all of them. Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, shouts out to you, folk.
I said, hey.
Oh yes, matter of fact, I'm definitely gonna get with you, man. I see you guys been working. They got a new podcast out.
Dope.
I'm excited to see what they put together. But yeah, like that case, that's a perfect example. You know what I mean?
Shout out
like,
your podcast.
Yes. Oh, he told me the name and I just forgot it. It's such a good name.
That's why
too.
I wasn't gonna put you on Front Street. I was like, I'll just let him
put
shout it out.
Put the name of the podcast in the chat, bro. It's such a good name. It's such a good name.
But is it a good name?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a good name.
Yeah, it's such a good name. Yo, y'all. Look, hey man, take your health seriously, man. I'm struggling right now. I've been on a detox the last couple of days. I haven't eaten. Man, like, oh my gosh.
What
When
are
I
you
tell
gonna eat?
you, well, no, I'm not gonna.
You're not gonna eat? Not even some leafy greens? You need to put something.
I've been doing water and tea.
Oh. So you're detoxing and just drinking liquids?
Well, I mean, that's part of the detox.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were like taking a detox and drinking just liquids.
Yeah.
'Cause that's gonna be a wet situation.
Man, oh my gosh, I've been so pissy. Golly, man, I've been in the bathroom at work like every 5 minutes.
I was talking about from the other end, but yes. Because, I mean, if you don't ever put any solids in there, it's just going to start coming out.
Yo, it's plenty solid in there. It need to come on out.
A little backed up already.
Need a colon cleansing. Yeah, take your health
And
serious,
there you
man.
have it, inside Art's anus.
Yikes. It ain't made it there yet.
What?
But
So earlier I was going to say, so give me a rundown. I-45.
I-45.
What's up, David?
Backed up. You childish. You childish.
I was gonna say, okay, so tell me, because we are creatives and we can't stick with one thing ever, period. Tell me, like, just go through, like, you don't have to explain them. I just want to hear some different things, like some different skills you have, some different things you've done, like, you know, like how you were talking about the sublimation machine about me.
Yeah.
So like, tell me some random. They don't have to be random. Just tell me everything, like as many as you can think of, things that you've picked up, started, learned how to do, just so that y'all know that y'all are not crazy, because it's just a creative thing.
Yes. So, perfect example, the way this live stream is set up. I learned like audio and video for live streaming and recording, like specifically on a mobile device. Spent all of 2019 figuring that out. Little did I know that 2020 was about to happen. Yikes. I picked up painting. As a matter of fact, and this is how you know it's like it's all like creative, right? I was only painting like galaxies and constellations and clouds, like sunsets, cloudy skies, different things like that.
Galaxies.
Yeah,
Do you have some of those?
I do.
I want to see.
I do. Yeah.
And they better not look like a second grader did it.
They definitely look like a second
That's
grader
dope.
did it.
We should put it up on the refrigerator.
Yes. Well, maybe like a sixth grader.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I joined art in sixth grade, and my teacher was really mean. She looked like a man. She had a huge gap, and that's okay that she had a huge gap, but it was like that she whistled through it
Oh, yikes.
at me. She, like, not at me, but like at the class. She would be like, everybody shut up. And she'd go, like, through it, and it would be so loud, it would ring my ears. I was in there
Yikes.
for one day, long enough, so I was in there long enough for them to switch my schedule. So I was in there for maybe like a week. So we learned perspective drawing in that week. I was out. So in that little bit of time, I did learn perspective drawing.
Interesting.
That's and
That day's worth.
I think back to that. Like anytime I do anything perspective, I'd be like, the lady.
Yikes.
I don't even remember
The
her
whistling
name.
lady.
Right.
Looking like Miss Trunchbull.
She ruined art for me. Like I really wish I would have taken it again or
If you
switched.
taught Miss Bree in sixth grade art, holler at us in the chat. Okay? We'd love to hear from you.
She's since then probably gotten braces. Who knows?
Holler at us. Give us a good whistle, you know.
Right.
But yes, cooking is something that I've always loved to do.
He cooks very well.
Let's see. Oh, I was a loctician while I had locks.
Okay.
I was actually doing and styling people's hair, not just my own.
Yes. I want to see that.
Yes. As a matter of fact, I told you, Mama Ruby.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah, I was maintaining hers for a couple of years. Let's see. My first business ever. Get this. Smartphone repair.
Oh yeah, you did say that.
Right? So I have this thing, and I low-key don't like it, but I guess I can appreciate it to a degree, right? Like, I lived in the hood for a little while, never grew up there.
Shout out to the hood.
As a grown-up adult, I spent some time in the hood.
Hey, it's cheap.
Yes, exactly. So tell me why, just because, you enunciate when you talk and you wear glasses, people just assume that you're a nerd and you just like, oh, you look like you good with computers. And I'm like, okay, I am, but why would you just assume that?
Right,
You
don't
know
be
what I'm
assuming.
saying? Like, I don't even like a computer.
Right.
You know what I mean? But no, like, this lady had asked, hey, I broke my phone. No, it was my mama. She hit my mama up. She was like,
Yes.
yo, son, he good with phones and stuff. You think he can fix mine? And I was like, yeah, just give me the name of it.
Yeah.
Right? So she gave me the model and everything like that. I immediately goes to YouTube.
Oh yes, YouTube University.
Correct. I watched 2 videos.
And you were a pro.
Bingo.
Hey, really feel like we try things, and if we're good at it, we're like, I'll do it.
Right. If it sticks,
Yeah,
keep it going.
I can do it. I can make a little money off of it, and
Correct.
it's dope because it's like so ADD. Like
Yes.
once you're done with it, there's something else that you're good at. Like that's great because we just need to have enough money to support our life.
Correct.
Like, and
You know
be
what I
able to
love?
create.
Right. You know, one of the things that I love about it is just kind of like how the world around you confirms that, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like most people would think, oh, I start doing this thing and somebody across the way starts doing it as well. They kind of take that as like a jab or like, right? But it's like, if you pay attention, it's like that means you're onto something. You know what I mean? Case in point, I started that business the same exact time that Zach, shouts out to you, Zach. He actually opened Sour Apple Repair back home, right?
Oh, that's cute.
Right? And so he ends up just doing it out of his car for a while. then ends up getting a vehicle and doing mobile repairs all throughout
Dope.
campus. And now it's literally the biggest one in the area,
Dope.
right? And I was just like, yep, I was on to something.
Yeah.
Now I'm on to something else, but
Right. Correct.
I was on to something.
And like the thing about it is like once you realize that like that's a thing,
Yes.
it's okay to be a thing because we like not everybody is built to just find one thing and stick with that every day for the rest of their lives.
Bree.
Like we have to have people like that.
Oh my
We definitely have to
gosh.
have people like that. But then we also have to have people that will develop things in different areas throughout their lives and create things and like make things help things evolve and change and
I literally thought something was wrong with me for the longest time.
same.
Right?
And the thing is, it's
Because
not even just you.
No, correct.
Yes.
Because like people actually indoctrinate us
Right.
with that mentality. But I kid you not, it was somewhere around like 7, 8 years ago when my Mima literally said to me, "Baby, I'm just like that. Like
Right.
if I don't have multiple things going on, I will go nuts."
Right.
And I was like it wasn't until that moment, and I've been doing these different things like pretty much my whole life, and just kind of dealing with the backlash of family members having their own
Right. Everybody
ideals
has an
and
idea of
their-
what you should or shouldn't be doing.
correct.
And they ain't worried about what they should or shouldn't be
Bingo,
doing.
don't have half a clue, right? And it wasn't until that moment where I actually felt fully comfortable being like multifaceted and like constantly looking for different things that I can learn, right? And so like to the point whereas now it's like I embrace it a whole lot more because you never know what learning about that will actually teach you or like prepare you for later on down the line.
Right. Right. Well, so the thing is, I understood and knew that that was me. I didn't know why, and I was ashamed of it.
Yeah.
Because you have your parents and your family, and your friend, whoever. They're like, you need to do this, and that's what you need to do. Stop jumping around, stop hopping around.
Yes.
Like, and I always cringed at that, and I'm like, but like, why can't I do what my soul feels led to do?
Even like when we were in school, like I was a multi-sport athlete, as most of us were that did play. And then like the older we got, they wanted us to specify, and it was just kind of like that's not like looking back on it, it's like man, that was so unfair because like you have multi-sport athletes that literally played professional
Right.
in you know what I mean? Like Bo Jackson, Deion Sanders, and others. Like, come on, like this, you should not, especially kids,
Right.
Right? Like that's the
How
point
do
I
you
was getting
find
to.
what you're good at?
Correct.
How do you find what you're
Taste
passionate about? Like,
everything.
yeah.
Try it all. Like, because again, like you say, you don't know what you like until you find out what you don't.
I don't know why I can't find the full quote.
I thought you just saw. I thought we just.
This one, but it's like it's a little
like
different.
the
I don't know.
poem.
I don't know if somebody made this one up though,
Yeah.
because I don't remember this part.
Yeah. Well, it was the.
There's like the third line that people don't ever say. Let me see. And I always like mix it up. I always. Okay.
Yeah.
There it is. A jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one.
Yes.
And it's like they always leave that part out.
Correct. That but.
Yeah.
They put a period when
Yeah.
there's a comma.
A jack of all trades is a master of none, period. And like that quote, like, and the crazy thing about it, like that quote always bothered me. Like that was part of the like, you can the jack of all trades is the master of none. Like, okay. Like that is what always made me think like there was something wrong with me, And I was like, I know that like if I'm being pulled like this, that's what, like I should be able to go where I'm
Correct.
led, you know.
Correct.
But that is one thing that always bothered me. I'm like, well, if that's, you know, and people use that against you, you know. But like the rest of it, but oftentimes better than a master of one. And
Correct.
then that like just brings it so full circle. You're like, you're right. Like, who wants to be just a master of one thing, you know?
Well, I mean, and not even just that, but like honestly, the modern day entrepreneur has to be a jack of all
You have
trades,
to,
you know, in some degree or some
or you're not
capacity,
gonna
you know.
survive, you know?
I mean, hell, if you want to keep it a whole hundred, like the average millionaire has 7 streams of income. They're
At
not all
least.
coming minimum,
Yeah.
minimum, right? They're not all coming from the same place,
Right.
you know. So you have to
Because
know a little bit about a few different things to be
right.
able to make money in a few different ways, right? And
Right.
so, like, I've always been interested in so many different things. I'm just curious, you know,
Right.
and I'm grateful. I am grateful that I have always been a jack of all trades, but it wasn't until later in life that I heard that broken part that you said. You know,
Yeah.
is a master of none. Like I don't remember hearing that much when I was a youngin, but like as I got older, I heard that, and it's left the same bitter taste in my mouth as well. It's just like, uh, okay, you say so, right? But I do believe that there's so much room, especially in your youth, to like try and experience different things
Right.
and like
That's what you
uh,
should definitely spend your teens, if not your teens, your 20s,
I
teens to
definitely
20s.
yes, I definitely believe that's what the teens and 20s are meant for. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because there's gonna be enough time for adulting when you're an adult, like I don't believe in that, like, oh, 20 something, like, look, legally yes you are an adult, but like I remember being that age and I was a fucking child.
Right. A whole kid.
Okay, so like don't be so hard on yourself. You're not supposed to have it figured out. If you do, that's an advantage.
Like,
Like
who is that? Who
you're
are
the
you?
exception, not the
Right.
rule.
You need to come sit in this spot.
You know,
No, you just think you have it figured out though. You know.
period.
You okay? So then I always knew that there was another part of the curiosity kill the cat. Did you ever hear the second part of that? The satisfaction brought him back.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Right.
And that's that
On that
on the cat.
with the cat. But
But yeah,
yeah.
yes, I'm really grateful. Like the one thing that sits at the top of the list outside of being able to wake up every day and like having loving family and like amazing
You have
friends.
one of those?
I do, I do.
Dope.
But I thank God daily that He made me a creative,
Yeah.
primarily because of how I see the world.
Yeah.
And no matter what it is that I go through or experience, that I call it the God gene, right? The creative in all of us is a direct lineage from Him, right? And so, with that, an artist's ability to take whatever situation or circumstance and create something new out of it is one of the things that I value the most in my personal life, because I've experienced a lot of trauma and hardship and different things of that nature in my adult life, in my childhood as well, but even more in my adult life. And it is that has always brought me back to the principles that I was taught as a youth. Always brought me back to just desiring to be a good human being,
Right.
right? And still having faith in humanity, right? In the sense that there are good humans because I'm like, you know what I mean? Like there are people like me who desire to be good people. You know
Right.
what I mean? You're an example of that.
Yes, I do desire to be good people.
And through our art, we can share that
Yeah.
with other people, and
It's just
I'm
so
passionate
like
about that.
freeing to create and to have the room to create. And um it's it kind of sucks for so long that I didn't like there's a middle chunk of my life where I just didn't feel that, because I feel so like freed, I guess. Um and it's like knowing that God made me that way is comforting because I know since he made me this way, then he's going to take care of me. He's going to like my gifts will make a way. Like so I'm going to go through some things that I've been through, like some
You've learned
some of
and
my
done.
some of my learns and done. So he talked about his first business was screen repair. My first business was a errand business, Busy Bees Errand
Oh
Services,
yes.
and that was started in Bryan College Station, and it was really the reason why I started it. First of all, I knew I always wanted to be a business owner, and I had not pulled the trigger. I was about like 20, 23 or somewhere around there. And I I was working at the hospital and we were working night shift and I worked with a lot of nurses in the ICU and a lot of them would be like, oh my God, on my days off, like I'm so tired or like, I switch I usually sleep during the day on my days off,
Yeah.
and then I'm up at night just because that's how I try to keep my body, that circadian rhythm. Like, you got to
What
do
was
something.
it? What
You got to do
rhythm?
something circadian.
Accordion.
And so I would have to be awake during the daytime because I had littles. I had a couple little, well, at the time one, and then I had another one. So I'd have to be up at nighttime and daytime. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna be up anyways. I gotta take the kids to school or daycare or whatever. So I'll run that errand for you. They're like, oh, dope, that would be great. Like, do you mind? And so one of the nurses, he hated. I miss him so dearly. I like need to find him. He's so easy. He hides very easy. But his name is Will, and he hated not Will Smith.
Oh, okay. Shout out to Willard.
Willard. He hated grocery shopping. He's like, I always have some kind of altercation with somebody in the grocery store. I'm just not a happy shopper. And
Yikes.
so it started out where he was just like, do you want to go grocery shopping for me? And he was like, you know what? Actually, just come with me and I'll still pay you. So he would literally pay me to go grocery shopping with him so I could keep him company and keep him in happy spirits and like deflect any things that would happen.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Oh, were you doing it just like that?
yes, I was like,
Deflecting?
"Wow, you with the bread, don't come over here. You with the grapes, stay there." Like, no, we're not talking. Don't say excuse me. Just move along, clear the aisles. Like,
No, we don't want direct TV.
oh my God.
I already have a bank account.
Right. So yeah, so I'd go grocery shopping with, and then finally, like he was just like, if you'll just go for me, great. So that's kind of how it started. Like, so that was my first business. But
I think it's dope that um, I was gonna say like I like hearing like entrepreneurs origin stories. Most of them was like, oh yeah, I was always a hustler. I sold baseball cards or I sold lemonade or something like that.
yeah.
It's like that's cool, but nah, I learned later in life. So, you know what I mean?
Hold on. I guess I would pause because now that you say that, I was a hustler all the way back to middle school. That is the earliest I can
That's
remember.
right. You did hustle the Kool-Aid, didn't you?
Yes. So the little, the Kool-Aid in the one that already has the sugar in it, the big like
The little jar.
white jar. Yeah. So I used to put like get little baggies and I'd put like the popular flavors. Purple. Red,
Oh,
blue.
oh,
I put them in little baggies, and like it actually started out with me like taking them to school and eating them. And I always had a blue tongue or a purple tongue. People were like, "Let me have some of your Kool-Aid," and I was like, "Nah, I don't share like that. But I get you one if I'll get you one for a couple dollars." And they're like, "Bet, bring it tomorrow." So I bring it, got the Kool-Aid, so they give me a couple dollars. Then somebody else will be like, "I want a blue tongue." And I'd be like, hey, you got to give me a few dollars for it. So like I was hustling Kool-Aid. My mom, and like, and if you don't know, those little, like, especially back then, those little jars were expensive, you know? Like, especially for like just
For a
buying.
grade school student,
Right.
yes.
And my mom would buy them and she's like, why are y'all drinking this Kool-Aid so fast?
You weren't even buying your own product? Let me
No.
find out you was a drug dealer.
Yes, if Kool-Aid is a drug. But yeah,
Crack.
like, bro, so I'd be like, hey, I got some. I'd be like, hey, I'm gonna just get some ice cream today. I'm gonna get, like, yes, like
Was you buying your friends snacks?
sometimes, sometimes,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, that was my first. Like, I was like, okay, cool. I could do a little something and get some dollars for it.
Oh, some dollars.
A little something, little Kool-Aid exchange.
Oh, yes.
But like, okay, so I've been a doula, which if y'all don't know, that's a birth assistant. Help the mom while she's in labor. I've I used to do piano. I did piano, violin. I picked up
Yikes.
guitar for a while. I used to collect guitars. Still cannot play you a song, but I had like 4 guitars, an acoustic, an electric, an acoustic electric, and what was the extra one? I think it was another acoustic. Yeah, I had 2 acoustics.
I never played guitar. I was in orchestra. I played 3 instruments in the orchestra.
Okay. I played clarinet,
That's bass, cello, and viola.
not the bass.
Oh yes, I started on the bass. I was
Ah,
afraid because I was like 5'10" in the 6th grade, right?
yeah,
So I was like, okay, I really want to do this because I like the way stringed instruments sound.
yeah.
But I'm like, I'm afraid to hold any of these other ones. So give me the big one.
Right. The big one.
Give me the big one.
Right. Give you what was the little one? The cello or the viola?
Which was so the cello you sit with, play this one.
Okay, so
in
the
chair.
viola is the little one,
Yes. So it's like the violin,
but smaller.
but no, violin smaller.
Oh, which
Yeah.
one? A fiddle? What's smaller than a violin?
So a fiddle is actually a violin, but like country people,
God! I refuse.
Oh yes.
I refuse that statement.
I mean, because why would somebody have a violin? Like, what is that? We playing these country records. You gonna hop on this fiddle? Oh yes, you gonna play that fiddle? Slap the bass.
Um,
Yes.
I'm trying to think. So I made shirts for a while. I still have a t-shirt business because when I get in orders, I still fulfill them.
I still would like a shirt.
I know.
Oh, as a matter of fact, since it's been on back order, go ahead and add the jacket with it.
Ah,
And
what jacket is this?
the Letterman.
Okay.
Yeah, I need that.
You want an A
Oh yes.
for entrepreneur, artistic virtuoso.
Or awesome.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
What do you want on the back? You can handle that.
I can.
You better go on Etsy.
Ooh. No, I need that entrepreneur logo on the back of that jacket. That'd be hard.
Yeah, with the little swish underneath it. You know how they be like.
Yes.
What
else did you do?
What else did I do? You might be able to help me in that. Theater director, theater teacher. I have a theater, youth theater. What else? I've done so many things. I feel like I've only named like a third.
You know what there's one thing I started to do.
But
I started to go to cosmetology school.
whoa.
Yes. I was actually going to do nails.
Whoa.
Now, I didn't say I do nails, but I was going to. I was going to
to.
learn.
So, real estate school.
Yes.
I've been through real estate school entirely once, and I'm in it again because I did not ever take the test.
Yikes.
So.
Yes, I'm aware of this. And I have been on her, like hair on her head, about finishing and testing and passing and becoming a realtor.
Yeah. Okay, if like I will do it by the end of the summer.
Okay,
Yeah, because
I'll
summer
hold you
will be
to
a
it.
lot more like my days won't be
It will
chopped
be
up,
different.
you know?
It'll be different.
Summer's like a lot more legato instead of
Oh
staccato.
yes,
Like freaking.
yes. Summer. You know, my year looks a lot the same, just like we do different stuff. You know, like um, I was talking to one of my clients today, and like he had on a polo or whatever, and like he had walked across and went to handle some business, and it was a nice day. You know, the sun wasn't too high; it was a lot of cloud cover,
Yeah.
lots of wind, but he
Oh,
came in like hot. You know,
yes.
and I was like, yeah, I couldn't go out there like this, walk nowhere, because I will sweat.
Right.
Listen, that's what identifies the seasons. What we wear.
Right.
What can you wear?
Right. What can you wear?
Right.
What are you able
What are you
to?
able to
Right.
wear? Because boy,
So I was talking
it gets hot.
to one of our younger artists, and he was saying that that people are like into the hoodie, cropped hoodies,
Yes,
and I was like, even during the summer, and
yes.
he's like,
Because people
yes,
don't get hot like you.
and I'm like, that's long sleeves. It's Houston. It's gonna be like 110 degrees with the humidity of like a
But like,
thousand.
you can't tell me that you've never seen a hoodie in the summer. Give you a great example. When we were at the beach last year,
Okay, so at nighttime it was really cold and windy.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly. And then you got to keep in mind as well, most people, since it is so hot, are hanging out inside, and they got that AC on high. And if your AC work anything like mine, it get cold.
Yes.
Yes, so I keeps me a hoodie for sure. But yes, that's what's
I'm
up.
hungry. Are you about ready to end it up?
I mean, you know,
Because some of us are eating.
you have a right Twix.
Yes. Oh, I
But
did have a
yes,
left.
shouts out to the creatives, man.
Shout out to ya.
Do your thing.
Y'all, come hit us up. Because what we really love, unless you're wasting our time, I'm just kidding. What we really love is a good creative meetup. We love that. Like,
Man, we had one this past weekend. It was phenomenal.
oh, are you
It
talking
was,
about the birthday?
yes,
Yeah.
it was great.
So it was my sister's first time being around a lot of entertainers and stuff, and she's still talking about it. She was like, it was so fun. It was so cool. Like everybody's got their own thing and everybody like has good vibes and everybody was like happy and positive and upbeat and happy and you know
And
like
happy.
and happy and excited and happy and joyous and glad, full and gleeful. And she was like, it was just really cool to be around a lot of people with like really good energy and stuff. I was like, that's all that I hang out with. If you don't
Exclusively.
have good energy, you don't know where I am.
We can't do it
You don't know, you can't even find me because I'm not available.
at all.
Yeah. And I really, really like people protect their peace. Protecting my peace is protecting my energy and the energies around me.
Yep. Agreed. Well
Yeah.
said, well stated. 110% agreed. Because yeah, I've gotten so exclusive about where I spend my time and who I spend it with. Uh, yeah, it's just so important. It's imperative, paramount, even. But
Yes, I agree. Oh no.
but yes, thank you so much for tuning in to the Kickback Off the Wall Nights Live.
Yes.
We love y'all, man. Seriously, with all the depth that those words actually mean, because you could be anywhere in the world. You actually are anywhere in the world,
Everywhere.
but you're here with us right now,
Right.
like both in the present, in the past, and in
In
the
the future.
future. Somebody gonna catch that,
Yes.
but we appreciate it. We definitely appreciate
Hit
y'all.
us up if you're creative. Hit us up if you're not a creative and you wondering what the hell we're talking about with all this creative stuff.
Correct.
Hit us up. Creative. Why is that different? Who is? Some of us don't know that we have the choice. So, hit us up. Hit us up.
Please do. Eric, thank you for tuning in, man. Like we'd love to have you guys to come and chop it up with us.
Come on down.
But in the meantime, between time, y'all have a beautiful night. Have a great rest of your week, and we will see you next Tuesday on Off the Wall Nights Live.
Yes, we're gonna probably like change up the scenery.
Scenery.
That good scenery.
We're gonna have our backdrop on point.
Maybe.
Ooh, shucks.
I might get some bean bags or something. Like Kickback might look a little different. It's gonna look a little more kicked back.
Yes, and we need something cold to drink.
We always have something cold to drink. Today we fell off.
You speak for yourself.
I think we're still recovering from the weekend.
I didn't fall nowhere. I'm still standing. Love y'all.